Hello. Welcome to Story Hour with Miss Barbara. Far, how far to the farthest star, near as near to a dream you are, surrounded by angels, golden bright, sharing with you their shining light. Once upon a time, there was a widow who had two daughters. One was beautiful and industrious, the other was homely and lazy. But the mother loved the homely, lazy one the best because that was her own daughter. The other daughter was a stepdaughter, and so all the work was piled onto her like a Cinderella. And one of the jobs that she had was spinning. And she had to spin and spin for hours until her fingers would bleed. So one day she was sitting by the well spinning when her fingers began to bleed and they got some blood on the shuttle. So she took the shuttle in her hand and swished it in the water of the well to rinse it off. But she swished a little too hard, and the shuttle got away from her and it sunk down into the well. And she went home in tears to her stepmother. But her stepmother was very angry and said, "As long as you let it fall, you must go get it, and don't come back without it." So the poor girl went to the well, and she, not knowing what to do in her sorrow, just jumped in to get the shuttle. And as she sunk down, she could see the leaves floating on the water over her head. But she lost her senses, and when she awakened again, she was in a beautiful meadow, green with beautiful colors of flowers everywhere. So she began to walk, looking around at this wonderful place, until she came to an oven. And in the oven was some bread baking, and the bread began to speak to her and said, take us out, for we are done." So she found a bread shovel that was there, and she scooped out each loaf and put it in some baskets that were sitting there. And then she kept walking until she came to an orchard, and there was an apple tree, and the apples were speaking to her, and they said, shake us, for we are ripe and ready to fall." So she shook the tree until all the apples had fallen, and then she gathered them into some baskets and left them there. And she continued walking in this wonderful place. And then she came to a little white house, and she wanted to go in and inquire there if she could find a place to stay. But then there was this face looking out the window, and the woman had big teeth, and she was about to run away. But then the woman came out and spoke kindly to her and said, "There's nothing to fear. You can stay here and enter into service with me. And if you are careful to do everything I tell you, and especially shake out my feather bed every day, for then the snow on earth will fly, for I am Mother Holle." So she agreed to enter into service with Mother Holle. And so she worked industriously, all the chores that were given her. Especially, she would shake out Mother Holle's feather bed so hard that the feathers would fly, and then it would snow on earth. And she was very happy living there with Mother Holle. There was never an unkind word, and she had all kinds of meat to eat. And so time went by, but she began to feel sad, and she wasn't sure why. And then she realized that she was homesick. So she spoke with Mother Holle and asked if she could go back home because she was homesick. And Mother Holle said, "Yes, I think it would be good for you to go back home. And come with me, and I will show you a door." And there she handed um, the girl the shuttle that she had been going down for, and she opened the door. And when the girl went through the door, a shower of gold fell upon her, and all the gold clung to her, so she was golden. And then, as she went out the door, there was the path leading to her house. Spinning, spinning, gold Marie, Mother Holle, she did see. Feathers flying like the snow, hung with gold, now home she'll go. And as she walked the path back to her home, there was the rooster sitting on the well, and he called out, "Cock-a-doodle-doo! Your golden girls come home to you." And then the widow and the stepsister were happy to see her because of the gold, and they treated her well. But now the mother wanted her own daughter to have this experience. And after she told them everything that had happened, the stepmother took her daughter to the well, and she gave her the spinning shuttle. But the girl didn't want to waste time spinning until she bled, so she pricked her fingers in some thorn bushes and then got it on the shuttle and then threw it into the well and jumped into the well after it. And she too lost consciousness, but when she woke up, there she was in the beautiful green meadow with all the flowers blooming. And she too began to walk. But when she came to the oven and the bread called out, "Take us out, take us out, we're ready," she said, "What? I don't want to get my fingers burned." And she kept going. And when she got to the apple tree and the apples called out, "Shake us, shake the tree, because we are ready to fall," she said, "And get an apple on my head? No, thank you." And she kept walking. When she got to the little white house, sure enough, there was Mother Holle peeking out, but she wasn't frightened because she knew already from her sister about the teeth and that she was kindly. So she entered into Mother Holle's service, and for the first day she worked hard. But by 3 days' time, she was sleeping all day and just as lazy as could be, and she never shook out Mother Holle's feather bed anymore, so it didn't snow on earth. So finally, Mother Holle said, "I think it's time for you to go back home." And she said, "Oh, yes, I'm ready." So Mother Holle took her to a different door, and she opened the door, and when the girl went through, a shower of tar and pitch fell down over her. And when she walked past the well, the rooster called, "Cock-a-doodle-doo! Your dirty girls come home to you." And try as she might, all her life she couldn't get off that tar and pitch. But the golden girl found a suitable husband in the village, and she went to live happily in her new home. And that's the story of Mother Holle. Thanks for listening.